community, but hoping to be part of one as part of the nonprofit organization that I started. And I am thankful that we had 2 beautiful, warm, sunny days that let me sit outside while I did some work the last couple days. That was definitely a blessing. And let's see, I will call on Ruth. You haven't gone yet, have you?
Hi, my name's Ruth, and I'm also part of Hope Fellowship here in Waco with Joe and Nancy and Barb. I'm grateful for the care that I experience so much through people in Hope Fellowship, especially right now. There's one individual who's trying to empower those of us who are eligible to get vaccines. And she has created a list of all these resources, and she's signing people up. And it's just so nice to have people that use their gifts to build up the community. And that's just one example, but it's one that's happening right now. So let's see, how about Beth?
I'm Beth. I'm in Fresno, California, and I am part of a community that's forming. We do not yet have a name. We are not in shared housing or anything. We're just kind of meeting together and trying to figure out what we're doing and where we're going. And the pandemic has kind of forced us to not necessarily put things on hold, but do things differently like we're all doing. But yeah, I'm grateful for the support of friends during this time. And I will call on Michael.
Hi there. I'm Mike Miles, Anathoth Community Farm. It's a Catholic worker farm in northern Wisconsin, just outside of a little town called Luck, believe it or not. And I'm just grateful for all kinds of stuff. I'm grateful for this group here and being introduced to it by Laura Lattismer. However you say her last name. They spent time here, right? And now they got a Catholic worker farm going on in Indiana. And there's 2 other Catholic worker farmers here, Alice and Joanna. So I'm grateful for the Catholic worker and all that it's meant to us over the years. I'm grateful for, well, we've been here for, I don't know, 34 years, something like that, up on our farm. I'm grateful for all the people who've come through here over the years and continue to come here. Apparently people think we still have something worth learning, doing, whatever. They keep coming. Right. And a fun thing that just happened is a young couple who joined us for the winter. They were working on farms around the area. We just had a baby born here like 2 weeks ago on the farm. So we're grateful for that experience, and we're grateful for. I'm going to go on a little bit because there's too much gratitude, right? Like 6 weeks before that, we're grateful that I live with Barb Cass, and we were able to see Barb's mom to the next life. She was 96. She died with us 6 weeks ago. And we were able, she was in a assisted living nearby. It's a long story, but when it became clear that she was transitioning, we did what we had to do to get her here to spend her last days with her children. And that was amazing to have a death and a life within 6 weeks of each other. I'm grateful for how resilient creation can be. We do regenerative agriculture here, a lot of things. And just 2 nights ago, we had crazy weather here that involved thunder way too early in the season, 2 inches of rain, lots of melting snow, and more water standing around here than I've ever seen at any time since we've been doing agriculture. And we have a lot of things built in to deal with that, swales and do key line, all kinds of stuff. So I'm grateful that creation cared for is resilient. And I'm ready. I'm gonna have to stop here because there's other people, and I'm gonna have to bail a little early because I'm grateful for our local church community, West Denmark Lutheran Church. And the reason I'm going to have to bail is because we have a situation where many people from our community are responsible for worship on Sundays, and Barb and I are in charge of the service tomorrow, and the sermon prep group is at 10:30. So yeah, I'm done. I'm just grateful for everything and all of you. And let's see, I've been writing here. Who's next? It's nobody here. It's Luis, Ray.
Good morning to everyone. I'm from, I'm part of Hope Fellowship still in my heart. I'm part of Hope Fellowship. I joined Hope Fellowship 20 years ago. And then after 10 years or so, we moved to Oaxaca. I was sent by Hope Fellowship to Oaxaca, and we live here in Oaxaca, Mexico, southern Mexico. And we started meetings here at the house, and we have now I'm part of also of Casa de Esperanza Community Church. So we now we have a loving community, and I'm grateful for that. And I I do some level of agriculture with my plants and other stuff, but I teach. I teach. That's what I do. And I'm grateful for my three children. They're growing up older and older every day. And specifically, I'm grateful this week for vaccination. I got my shot on Thursday, and I'm grateful for things that work. Like since we came from Waco, we brought this van, and it's a Honda Odyssey, which is now almost 20 years old. But every month, every year, it's been deteriorating. Something doesn't work. Every 2 months, something fails. Something fails. It's dying. But this week, it's been resuscitating. And I'm thankful that now it works. Things work, and we can still use that van. So I'm happy, and I'm glad meeting you, seeing you, and this is my daughter Gwendolyn. So I'm going to pass the microphone to Gwendolyn.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Gwendolyn, and I am part of the Casa de Esperanza community here in Oaxaca, Mexico, that me and my family started back when we moved back to Oaxaca in 2012. And it's a wonderful, loving community. We're still quite small, but with very committed body. And I am very grateful for being able to spend the pandemic with my family and in a beautiful place and in a beautiful house, surrounded by beautiful plants. I think that having lived in Michigan for 2 years doing my specialist degree in viola performance gave me a lot of perspective after living most of my life in Texas or Oaxaca. And I'm just really grateful that, I've been able to be surrounded by beauty and beautiful weather during such a difficult time and with my family. And I teach at 10:30, so I'm going to have to leave in a couple minutes, but I really wanted to say hello and meet people from other communities, and that we hope to have more connection with and create relationship with. So, and I think we'll call on, is there Stefan?
Hello, and thanks for holding this meeting. And did I hear you say you play viola?
Yes, I'm a professional violist. I have 3 degrees in viola performance, and I think I'm about to get a 4th one.
Oh my.
That's still kind of a surprise.
Okay. Well, I'm delighted to hear that. I'm a professional composer, and my music is out there. And so my name is Stefan, and I wanted to especially invite you to come to our community when you can, because it's a community full of music and song. So let me tell you a little bit about it. I'm part of a community called Community of Peace. And we are a new community, 7 of us, ranging in age from 3 years of age to 93 years of age. And we're about to begin a residential community life in Virginia, close to Charlottesville, on 270 acres of land. We're moving into a retreat center there. And so our community is basically modeled after the community of Thésée in France, so that music, daily sung prayer, a beautiful sung prayer 3 times a day, is at the heart of our life together. So therefore we need someone to play viola. So there. And yes, indeed. Let's see, what else can I tell you? I'm grateful today for, and I know all of us knows this when it happens, when things come together. You know, W.B. Yeats once said, when things fall apart, and there's that moment too. But I think when things come together, we're especially grateful. So I'm grateful today that all of our work, our prayers, and a network of people all around the country and the world, for that matter, are saying, yes, we would like a community of peace, and yes, we'll support you. So I'm very grateful for that, and thank you much. Oh, I will pick Alice.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alice McGarry. I live in the middle of Iowa at the Mustard Seed Community Farm and Catholic worker. And I'm super grateful this time of year for the migrating birds. I feel like it's just a really special time. And I'm grateful that I get to have a life where I get to be outdoors so much and have so much sky to be able to just see so many birds migrating. And Debbie, did you go yet?
I'm gonna go last. So Barbara, I think you're second to last.
Okay. I'm Barbara from Hope Fellowship here in Waco also. And something I am grateful for this weekend, yesterday, because of the nice weather, I was able to see each of my neighbors just throughout the day, which was just a real treat to kind of exchange, how are we all, what's going on, and just feels like for the first time since our blizzard with COVID, all that stuff, was just really nice to personally greet them all. So Debbie.
That's me. Hi, I'm Debbie Baumgartner. I'm here at Jesus People in Chicago, Illinois. And I am, similar to Barbara, really grateful that this week I got to see some very dear friends that I hadn't seen for a year because they were, especially the wife is high risk, being a cancer survivor. And so it was just so magical to see these dear friends after a year. It's hard to believe it had been so long. Well, for the next part of our time together, and what do we think, Joe? Like 20 minutes or so in our breakout groups?
Yeah, I think 20. So pull us back at 10 till the hour.
Okay. And I have some questions here. You can take them or leave them. I think we all probably have enough to talk about just getting to know each other a little better. But here's some questions that might guide your conversation. In what ways has or does living in community or seeking to build community made a difference in my life, in the life of my community, fellow community members, and in the life of my neighborhood or surrounding area? So those are some questions that could springboard some thought, but don't feel like you're limited to those topics. So I think Joe is gonna push us out into some smaller rooms where we can talk a little bit more.
And how long do we have?
Like 20 minutes.
20 minutes till 10 till the hour at the top of the. Keep the line open here for a while for anybody that wants to stay on longer and visit. So I'm getting an echo. So yeah, I'm going to go off of audio and come back on, hoping that does away. But yeah, people are welcome to stick around and visit for a while.
A question, if I may. Is it okay to be in contact by email with folks in this meeting?
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that?
I'm going to send out a distribution list, contact list.
Great.
Those who signed up. I have trouble always matching up exactly who signed up and who showed up.
Okay.
But I will send out the list of all those who signed
Great.
up.
Thank you, Joe.
In the next,
And I sent
day
my
or
email
two.
to you, Stefan, through chat.
Right. Great. I got your email, Evan. Thank you.
So great to visit. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thanks for coming. Yeah, so we're officially done, but anyone who wants to stick around and hang out can.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, it's great. Hi,
Yeah,
Harrison. Hi, Paloma.
Hey.
Fun.
Yeah,
so
it's
fun.
great to see all of you guys and people that I don't know. It's really nice.
Yes, they're all
Yeah.
great people.
Yeah, every time I get on these calls, I feel like I could sit down and have a good conversation with any one of these people.
Yeah. If you want to grab a cup of coffee and some crackers.
Seriously.
I want to go to Oaxaca. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I thought about that too.
It's lovely. Yeah. So, I mean, right now with the pandemic, things are rough, but of course you guys are all invited.
Thank you.
Stefan, you would love hanging out with them because they're a completely musical family, not just
Really?
Gwendoline.
That means they're dangerous.
Do you guys play instruments also, like your sister?
Yeah, so well, we all my brother and my sister and I grew up playing classical music, but since then I kind of stopped, and so did Harrison when he was younger. So you play?
I mainly play the guitar, the electric guitar.
Nice.
Very good.
And he likes rock. And I, like during college, I kind of did a lot of like troubadour kind of stuff, like playing at cafes and bars and a little bit of street performances, things like that, just to kind of pay some tuition money. So yeah. So I haven't done it in a while, but.
I would love to communicate with you all, the musical ones there. And where are you? Oaxaca?
Oaxaca.
We are in, I'll write it in the chat. It's a city called Oaxaca in South Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. So
beautiful artwork.
And you and Harrison are planning to move to Chicago in the fall, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, Harrison is. So I'm kind of not sure yet because
I'm in Chicago. You guys have to look me up.
I grew up in Chicago, near Chicago.
You can tell.
Yeah, I'm going to Chicago for my sophomore year of college because I was here during my freshman year because COVID.
Yeah.
And I mean, COVID is still happening, but but hopefully there's a job opportunity that I'm looking at where I could possibly get vaccinated. I don't know yet.
Nice.
So that's why it's like, okay, now I could probably go and be on campus and stuff.
What school?
Columbia College.
Oh yeah, nice.
So yeah, studying film, and I'm planning on going at some point in this summer. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of stuff because there's a lot of factors that are still not determined. There,
You know what? I'll email you because right now we're not really having visitors, but that could change. Like we're almost all getting vaccinated. So I don't know exactly, but by summer, I think we'll be open to even short-term visitors.
Thank you. Yeah, cool.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I'll email you guys and give you my info.
Oh,
yes, please.
thank
So
you
do
so
we-
much. Yeah.
Joe, you said you were going to send a contact list, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Debbie, her community is Jesus People USA. They're in Uptown Chicago, if you are getting to know the neighborhoods there.
We're on the red line, so you could go. I mean, it's a straight shot down to Columbia.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Beth, I wanted to mention one other roundtable. It's not on the calendar yet, but we're waiting for a date, is singles and community too. Beth was sharing in our breakout some about some of the struggles being part of a forming community during a pandemic, which I can only imagine, plus being a single in that forming community that doesn't yet have all the social infrastructure. So, Debbie, you've got some folks that are lined up to help.
Meredith, she's at a Catholic worker. It's Catholic worker, but they do moms and kids is who they host. So she's gonna host that with a friend who's also at a Catholic worker down in Indiana. So she's in Cincinnati and he's in Indiana. So.
And Stefan, we haven't forgotten, sometime late summer, early fall, the leadership team will start working on an in-person gathering for next year. And we're remembering your community.
My space is your space.
Yeah, so something to think about and look forward to for.
Absolutely. I look forward to that. Thanks.
Right.
Super.
And you're Sarah, I have a friend who's in Connecticut. She just moved there a couple of years ago, and that was the first time I'd ever been to Boston. We flew out of Boston. Such a beautiful city. So much history.
It is. I like the uniqueness. I grew up in Connecticut and came up here for school, but kind of came up for school and then was like, I like it here. So I like that it's got history and it's got character, but it's not too big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did part of that Heritage Trail. There's like an African-American museum and they have like sites that you can walk to. So we did some of that before our flight took off. That was really great.
Nice.
Sarah, what is the not-for-profit that you're starting? I wasn't in your breakout, so I don't.
Sure. So it is, I'll put the name in here in case you want to check out our out-of-date website. But it is, I became an organization in 2019, became a nonprofit in March of 2020. Perfect timing for having to like reconfigure all of our short-term goals. So the long-term goal is to have a working sustainable farm that is also serves as longer-term residential supportive housing in the like 1 to 5 year range for people in recovery with a history of addiction and homelessness and incarceration.
Nice.
But part of the goal is to have a community somehow, an intentional community kind of alongside it or integrated somehow with people who have a longer term commitment to the community. So that we have, focused on building a community within ourselves, but also in the broader community. So
Sarah, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
let's talk. That's not really a question, is it? But with 270 acres, we want to make that space available for people like yourself who want to do things like you're suggesting. So let's talk. If you're interested in, possibly doing what you want to do in Virginia, that is.
We are committed right now to starting in Massachusetts.
There you go.
Is a big part of what. So right now we are committed to being in Massachusetts for the.
I got you. Well, if that ever changes, give me a shout.
Possibly expanding in the long run, but now it's at least starting in Massachusetts and then expanding within New England is the goal.
Good.
But
yeah, I'm drawing a blank on names right now, which is not unusual for me, but we do have, there's a group in North Carolina doing almost what you're doing.
Okay.
We've talked to, with, so I will look that up and make a connection between you guys, because very similar vision, I think.
That would be great.
So
yeah, I learned about this community through friends who have been traveling around and doing stints in a few different communities. And so they've been amazing in helping me start to connect and learn and figure this process out. So I'm always excited to connect with other people who can help teach me and spur me on. So I definitely appreciate it.
A friend of mine, her husband was at a farm in New Hampshire for a year in recovery. Can't remember the name of it, but it was a great program.
Yeah.
They would be a great resource because that's what they did. That's what they do. I don't know why I can't remember the name. I kind of blocked it because that was quite a painful experience, even though it was ultimately very great. But yeah.
Was it his mansion?
Yeah, that's it.
That's the most well-known one around here.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I know that I haven't visited yet, and I know a few people who are connected with it. I have a couple hesitations with that farm, but I also,
Yeah, I mean, it's been over a decade now. And they were pretty desperate for,
an option.
Yeah, I mean, heroin. This, and they had a newborn, and
oh my gosh.
Yeah, but he's been clean ever since. So
that's good. Yeah, I mean, this came out of starting Prey Sparrow Farms came out of just having so few options available for people.
Yeah. And so expensive options.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, and I just think about in befriending people and watching them in trying to work through recovery or get to that place, just the whole process can be so discouraging, and so many of the options, I'm like, I can't heal in that environment. How do people heal in some of these environments? It's just,
they don't.
There's nothing that brings life or joy in a lot of the available options. And that breaks my heart.
Yeah.
So
I'll be praying for that. That's a great
thank you.
Sarah, do you know the name Killian No?
I don't.
Okay. She was part of Church of the Savior in Washington, D.C. for many years, where they started a recovery cafe. Now, obviously, it's not a farm, but she has since moved to, I believe it's Seattle, Portland, maybe. Anyway, on the West Coast. But if you look under Recovery Cafe, Killian is one of the wisest women I've ever met, who has been doing this work of recovery in groups for decades now. I would strongly suggest you get in touch with her. She'd love to talk with you as well. Killian No is her name, K-N-O-E, I believe is how you spell it.
And the one I was trying to think of was Community of the Franciscan Way, in Siler City, North Carolina. So Joe Sroka is the guy who I've visited with, and it's a small operation. It's his family and 2 or 3 or 4 other people that singles that have formed this, or not formed it, but and it's sort of I mean, it sounds very Catholic, of course, Franciscan way, but it's very ecumenical too. So I'll just write you a letter of intro to him, and you may not find much in common. I don't know, but
No, but it may, who knows?
doesn't hurt to make the contact. So yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I
Say,
have
Joe,
to
sorry.
go.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Quick question for you, if I may.
With you guys.
Joe, how many communities are there in Nurturing Communities Network?
Well, that's a good question that no one knows the answer to except God. I haven't. I do keep a database, and it's sort of hard to identify communities in formation, communities going out of existence, people that have somehow made it into our database and never listed themselves with the community. And now we've got all of a sudden, as a result of some of these roundtables, we got a lot of Catholic worker farms. So, but I'm guessing it might be 40, 50 communities, maybe. So yeah, so it's always a moving target. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Well, this has been wonderful. I actually have to go, but
Okay.
it's a blessing to meet all of you. So that I could join and look forward to joining more in the future.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah.
Just check on the website and new things may be popping up.
I will, definitely. Thank you so much.
So Stefan, when are you headed out to Virginia?
We're heading out in June 1st.
Still in June. That was your target date last time we talked. So
Hasn't changed, Joe.
I'm impressed. Yeah.
Hasn't changed. Yeah. Quick question for you, Luis and family. I'd love to share music with you all. So I'm not quite sure how to do that, but shall we be in touch by email?
Yes, please. Yeah, I'll put my dad's email and mine as well.
Okay, cool.
Harrison's is too long.
Oh, don't discriminate against Harris, please.
That's my father's. Luis
Okay.
Matias Cruz. And this is mine. Nancy and Joe, I want to congratulate you on your new grandchild.
Oh, thank you.
Rita, yeah. You may not have heard, so we asked for your prayers a week, well, not even a week after she was born. She had to go to the emergency room and was in the hospital for 2 or 3 days. And part of what was discovered is that she has a rather large hole in her heart. And so we have, we're at a place of, estamos tranquilos ahora, but she is seeing a cardiologist every week and she's gaining weight, which we're very thankful for because there was a concern that she would have to have a feeding tube till she could get big enough for surgery.
But she loves to eat.
Yes, she's gained weight. We'll have to send you a picture of her. If you're on Facebook, we're not, but I know Annalise posts now and then a picture of her. But this last visit on Wednesday, the hole had closed some. It's still big, but the doctor was very encouraged by her weight gain. And so, yeah, prayers for her and Annalie and Joel, I think, are hanging in there and at peace. But it has been a really intense month for us.
Surgery is very likely in her future and probably in 2 or 3 months from now, if everything goes well. If she doesn't get any sort of infection, which means we're all keeping a very tight bubble. Nancy and I have been fully vaccinated here for several weeks, but just because we're part of their bubble and I mean, not just COVID, but any sort of infection could set her back for, make the surgery get postponed for a couple of more months, so.
So the surgery would be to close that hole?
Right,
Right.
right. And as a result of the whole, I don't fully understand this, but she's always in danger of getting fluid in her lungs, and she has had fluid in her lungs. But that's been improving too, and we have to be very careful about aspirating. But yeah, at this point, I think we're feeling optimistic, that everything seems to be moving in the right direction. So.
Okay, well, we will keep her and you guys in our prayers then.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Definitely an opportunity to grow in faith.
Yeah.
So,
So Stephen Harrison lived with our Anna Lee, our daughter, we were just talking about, and son-in-law for, how long were you back in Waco at that time? 2 years, Harrison?
Yeah, 2 years. Yeah, I was living there.
3 years. You lived 2 years with
Yeah.
them. Paloma was back living with
Barbara.
who was on the call for about a year, or were you here a full year?
A semester,
A little
semester.
less. So I was like 8 months.
Semester.
I worked in the semester, but I was there like since whenever you got sick.
That's true.
So, yeah, about 8 months, I think. Yeah. But I would go over basically to Annalie's house almost every day. So yeah, it's a nice little.
So
family.
has music been a part of your lives always?
Yeah.
Yes.
Has music been a part of our lives? Yeah,
Their,
basically.
their mother also, with a very lovely voice, one that Paloma and Gwendolyn, and I haven't heard you have so much sing, but I know that Paloma and Gwendolyn have inherited their mother's voice for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. My parents both kind of like sang and played guitar since they were in their 20s or so or earlier. So we kind of grew up with that. And then later we ourselves would play music, or my mother started us and like kind of music classes when we were younger. And then since then, even though we haven't been, me and Harrison haven't been like taking classes or anything, but it's still a huge part of our lives.
Yeah. As we all know, music is not about classes, right? Music is about the heart and expression and dance and causing trouble.
Having fun. Yeah.
Having fun. Yes.
Yeah, I really miss kind of the in-person meetings in general, of course, but like in Hope Fellowship, I remember sometimes like there'd be like little groups of music, right? And like JB would usually be at the center of that. But I really miss that. It's something that
Yeah, because we can say things through music, can't we, that we maybe cannot say in words. You know?
Yeah. Luis has also composed some songs that are part of our singing in our church and in Spanish, that we very much value. So, yeah. I'm going to need to go because part of our life now involves spending time with our grandkids every day. I mean, we're thankful for that, no? Pero, but it is a time commitment of sorts. So, but it's really been great to see you guys and looking forward to future. And it just warms my heart to see connections like Stefan with you guys. That's exactly what we want nurturing communities to be about. So
very good. Thank you all. Blessings. Much love.
Bye.
Bye, Joe. Bye, Nancy.
Bye.
Bye, Stephen. Bye.
Yes. Take care.
Take care, Joe. Take care.
Take care.
Nancy.